So recently the FBI have put out an urgent warning.
Now with the FBI's urgent warning about those free charging stations.
The FBI says when you need a boost, you should use your own cords and plugs instead.
They're telling people not to charge their phones using public charging points at places like airports and supermarkets. Now, if I needed to fly and my phone was on 10% battery, unfortunately, I wouldn't put any thought into not using the charging points that are there because they're so convenient and sometimes you really need them. However, the FBI and other cybersecurity agencies have put out a warning and they're like, don't use these because there is a risk. On the 6th of April, US time, the Denver branch of the FBI put out a warning on Twitter, which reads, avoid using free charging stations in airports, hotels, or shopping centers. Bad actors have figured out ways to use public USB ports to introduce malware and monitoring software onto devices. Carry your own charger and USB cord and use an electrical outlet instead. Hypothetically, there's a risk of this being anywhere, but the more high-risk places are USB ports where there is high traffic, i.e. like places like buses, planes, and airports and shopping centers, as the FBI has said. The issue that we're tackling with is called juice jacking, and the reason it can occur is because the cables that we use to charge our devices, generally USB cables, can be used for both power and data transfer. If I plug my phone into my MacBook, there's a way that I can both charge my device and transfer data at the same time. It's how the USB cable is designed. What these hackers do is behind the scenes install some sort of computer that intercepts this data transfer. This is more common on Android phones, as iPhones do have a few safety measures. But if they can manipulate you into trusting the computer, then it's the same thing on an iPhone. So once these safety measures are down, it's the exact same thing. Everyone's at the same risk. One of the issues with these charging points is that they are generally unmonitored, so a lot of the time you can't tell whether the USB ports have been tampered with or not. The way that the hack can be implemented is as easy as swapping out a faceplate on the USB port for one that has a mini computer inside of it. This mini computer then starts to attempt to install malware onto your device. This could be ransomware, spyware, adware, malware, a keylogger, or a remote access software. At times it can even be as serious as a bank logger, and that's not good. No matter what software, it all ends up accessing your data, and at the end of the day, that's not what we want. You don't want other people, without your permission, accessing the data on your device. And research has shown that even just 1 minute of charging time can lead to the bad outcome of your device being compromised. So how would you see that your phone's been hacked? In a few different ways. Ransomware would make itself known because obviously then they would want you to pay a ransomware to get back access of your phone. Some stuff as adware would also make itself known because obviously adware just continuously shows you ads. But on the other side of the spectrum, you've got spyware and a keylogger, which hides itself in the background, doesn't make itself known because all it does is observes you while you're doing all of your stuff. You need to pay attention to other signs to find out that your phone was being hacked in the first place. If your device starts slowing down, losing battery life faster, or starts overheating, and there's other signs as well, but these are just a few, then you should maybe check that your phone has not been hacked and just make sure that you secure down everything. So what can you do to protect your device from falling victim to this elaborate scheme? Firstly, this issue only applies if you are carrying just a USB cable. So if you're just carrying this cable, here's my lightning to USB cable, if you're just carrying this, then you are at risk. But if you have a wall brick, then what you can do is you can plug it into the wall and then that sort of gets rid of all the risk. So consider carrying a power brick and that eliminates your entire issue. But if you don't have this, maybe consider getting a power bank. And if you don't have any of those, you can get a USB data blocker if needed, because this intercepts it and stops any risk of anything happening. Do you know what's also not risky? Following KingEthan Tech on Instagram. I'm gonna start putting tech tips of the days and other stuff onto Instagram. So if you're on Instagram, make sure to go to Instagram and follow KingEthan Tech. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.